his education, his looks and physique, how he takes care of home, how
Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop.
What's going on, everybody out there in TV land, on YouTube and on Facebook Live? We come to you tonight to interrupt your regular scheduled program to bring you a hot topic. Hey, y'all, we got a banger tonight. It's about to go down. We got a few beautiful ladies who are about to give their views and their opinions on how they rank these gentlemen. But before we get to all that, Facebook, do me a big, huge favor. Go on over to YouTube, type in Nutz, N-U-T-Z, and the and sign, Boltz, B-O-L-T-Z, of life. Or you can just use this one word, no space, no and sign, Nutz Boltz of life. Shoot on over to YouTube and catch us on YouTube. All right? Appreciate that. Hey, YouTube, hit the like button for me right now. Stop. Hit the like button for me right now. Share this message and please subscribe. All right. And also, I pinned my Stop Play'n Apparel company at the top of YouTube and on the top of Facebook Live. I pinned the link. Like always, y'all, support starts at home. Come on, support your boy. Last but not least, if you appreciate what we're doing and you want to donate to us, all monetary gifts are welcome. All donations are welcome. Get the Cash App link, Cash App QR code. You do not have to donate, but if you choose to, we really appreciate that and say thank you in advance. And with that being said, welcome to Nutz and Boltz of Life. I'm your host, Edmund Chapman, and I'm the CEO of Stop Play'n Apparel.
and I'm Obi.
I'm Sheena Nicole.
And I'm your special guest host, Big EG.
Hey, Obi, who we got tonight?
All right, let me put my glasses on, man. I want to make sure I get this right before all the smoke come on. First, we have the gorgeous Angel. I'm sorry, Angel. She she attends church with Ed and I. She has two boys, and she enjoys running her nonprofit that she does for teenage girls.
Welcome, Angel. Welcome, Angel. I'm sorry about the name mishap. Welcome, Angel. How you doing tonight, Angel?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. We're doing well.
Good.
Big brother
Thank you for the
EG.
invite.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Big brother EG, who we got tonight?
We have the lovely Miss Kyra Blackman. She's a resident of Sacramento, California, where for 10 years she has worked in the human resource profession for the city of Sacramento. She's also the president of the Black Employee Research Group for the past 3 years and served as a director on her union board. In her free time, she enjoys crafting, spending time with family, and traveling. Kyra has a huge, huge heart and is always willing to help others.
Oh, wow. That's extensive. Hey, Kyra, welcome. How you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to engaging in the conversation.
Kyra from California, y'all. Hey, she's from Cali.
Cali's in
Doesn't
the
rain in Southern. No, I'm just kidding. All right, she's from Cali. Last but not least, we got the most beautiful, gorgeous Courtney with a K. Me and Courtney went to same high school. She is a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She is a professional school counselor. She has a foundation. She's a founder of Fearlessly Loving Yourself Incorporated, FLY, Fly. She's a mindfulness teacher, and she's a dope auntie that loves to travel. Courtney with a K, how you doing today?
I am awesome sauce. Thank you for my introduction, but that's on my list too, so I can't wait.
Oh,
Ooh,
oh. Wait, did she just?
I
Okay.
did shots
already.
already.
So
Mm.
hold on, Facebook. Wait a minute. We about to get into this thing, but Daquana, don't be saying hi to Courtney. Don't. Courtney trying to come for us.
Mm.
Y'all, all the introductions over, y'all. Let's get to the meet and greets of this, man. Sheena Nicole, first day of the podcast. Let's hit this. This ranking you got.
All right, so number one for me would be his looks and physique. Number two would be how he takes care of home. Number three would be how he makes me feel appreciated and respected. Number four would be his positive personality and mindset. Number five would be how he pleased me sexually. Number six would be his attitude and demeanor. Number seven would be his salary. Number eight would be his spirituality. Number nine would be his career. And number 10 would be his education.
Wow, that's a dope list. So I know everybody wondering, like, what is she even talking about right now? Obi, can you explain what's going on?
Yeah. So today we got a good topic on deck, and we're letting the ladies take the first stab at it. And the fellas really want to hear what you have to say. So we asking the ladies to rank what they think is most important, from most important to least important. And what Sheena Nicole was listing was the items that we have on the list. So the items are a man's salary, a man's career, his education, his looks and physique, how he takes care of home, how he makes you feel appreciated and respected, his positive personality and mindset, his attitude and demeanor, his willingness to please you sexually, which I don't understand why that's even on the list, and his spirituality.
All right.
Sounds good, Ed. I'm ready. I am ready.
All right. So Sheena, let's go back over that list one more time. So you said the first one was looks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that first been the first one too. What was your second one?
The second one was how he takes care of home.
Why is that your second one?
Because I need to know that you put your priorities versus the things that you want. So like if you want to go get a watch, but you got a bill that you got to pay, I need to know that you put that first over your watch that you want.
Obi, what you think about that? I see you looking.
Okay, can you elaborate on that? Because that doesn't sound like a grown man. That sounds like a boy.
Okay, well, it is some boys out here. So you this is the list for if when you are potentially dating or seeking a man. So you do have some men who put their wants over the things that they got to take care of at home.
Do you date men like that, like a lot?
No, I don't date men like that a lot, but I have. So
you date boys?
I
Ask the question.
guess they are boys then. I guess they are boys.
Oh.
But they not here, so.
And what was your sixth one?
My sixth one
Yes.
was the attitude and demeanor.
All right. And what was the last one you said?
His education.
His education.
Yeah.
Why would education be last?
Why is that so low?
For me, it's last because you do have a lot of successful men who do not have a college degree. So I don't be like, oh, you got to have a master's in this or you got to have an associate's in this. Because there's a lot of successful men out here that don't have a college degree, that just graduated from high school, got their high school diploma, and went on to be very successful.
So you equivalent education with degrees and not education with knowledge?
No, of course you can have knowledge. But however, I feel like when you're talking about educated, I feel like it definitely do have a lot to do with schooling and their degree.
Okay, I got a quick question for you. It's because I
Hey,
attend
hold on,
church.
hold on, Obi.
Hey,
Before we be seen, let's let some of these other people in. We're gonna come back to her. She ain't off the
okay.
hook yet. We're gonna come back to her. We're gonna go with Courtney with the K. Come on,
Okay.
you were talking a little bit, so we're gonna see what you're gonna say.
Okay. So number one was spirituality. Number two is positive personality slash mindset. Number three is how he makes me feel. Number four is his attitude and demeanor. Number five is how he looks in his physique, and not so much of his physique. Y'all can cut that. How he takes care of home, the willingness to please me, his salary, education, and then his career. It's 10.
Why does it look so low?
Mm.
Because spirituality is the first one. So you go after a guy with looks and he might not be, I mean, everybody looks change. I might gain 10 pounds tomorrow and I'm fat. He might do the same. So, but if his mind is together and he prays and he has a positive mindset, then we can work through some things. So I'm not really big on looks. Looks got me here.
Mm.
Mm. Hmm. And what was the third one?
The third one was how he makes me feel.
How he makes you feel.
Our energy, our connection. I'm big on energy. So I need us to be connected. And sometimes we're not going to be connected, but if we take the time to connect and we have that pure intimacy and not just sex, and that's why willingness to please me is so low, because a guy can be horrible, but if he makes you feel great and y'all chemistry and everything is everything, then sex will follow.
So he could be but ugly, but loves God, but treats you well and you good with it.
I'm not gonna go on the butt ugly part, but you got to think about this. No, 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 no. Listen. You're ugly to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is ugly to somebody. So he might be butt ugly to you, but he might be fine as hell to me.
Mm.
So I mean, I'm not out here trying to, keep up with the Joneses, because the Joneses will get you lost.
Hmm. EG, what you think about her list?
Yeah. I had a question. What was number 10?
Number 10 was his career.
Wow. I found that shocking. I feel like I would assume that women would care a little bit more about career. Why would you have it that low on your list?
Because if you're making money, I'm not gonna say I don't care what you do, but I don't care what you're doing. As long as it's a positive, it's a good job, he's not selling drugs. As long as he's doing his thing, I don't really care about his career, as long as he's taking care of home and doing what he needs to do. But that's not big on my list. Like, I'm not gonna judge you because he can own a White Castles.
Oh,
But
He
what
can,
if he worked at what if he worked at Target?
he can work at Target. I'm not gonna judge him. He could be the manager at Target. He can be the district manager at Target.
Okay.
difference.
I,
What if
I'm just but he didn't specify. He just said, "What if you work at Target?" So my positive mindset went to he can be a manager,
okay,
or
what if he
and then
was a cashier?
you kind of attract the people that you are. If we really want to talk, so if I attract somebody that works at the gas station, something in me I got to change.
so
If he's not the owner.
so one quick question. Um, let's say he checks all those boxes, but he collects the car said jewels. What's going on?
Everybody, I don't know. Hold on, come back to because
Wait. Okay, we go. Hey, hold on, we gonna let our book real quick. We gonna come back to come on, EG. Come on, he locked and reloaded. Boom, let's go. We gonna go to Miss Angel. Angel Obi. Her name is Angel.
Throwing shade at me. I'm on your team, bro. I'm on your squad.
We serve together. We're a week. I gotta keep
Angel, I'm sorry. I'm deeply
Thank
sorry.
you. So I'm going to go with exactly what you guys put on the lists, because I saw y'all was trying to switch up talking about what if he got knowledge and not education. Y'all said education. So we gonna go with education. We gonna go with school. So I have number one as my looks because if I can't look at you, I don't care how saved you are, I can't look at you. So number one gonna have to be looks and physique. Number two is gonna be his spirituality because of course I need someone that can cover me and that loves Christ. Number three is gonna be his attitude and demeanor because don't embarrass me. Number four is going to be his positive mindset because I'm usually going to always see the glass half full, so I need somebody to match that. Number five is how he makes me feel because that's super important. Um, I I don't do disrespect on any level. Number six is sexual pleasure. Because if I like him and we like each other and we got good mindset and good chemistry, that's going to just fall in line. Number seven is career salary, which I figure those kind of went hand in hand, 7 and 8. Nine is how he takes care of home. And 10 is education. So that's what I have.
I'm gonna come back.
Come on, EG, OB, which one of y'all?
I'm coming for you in a second.
Hey.
I got something
All
for
I
you.
want to say is I ain't have to go to college. This I'm just saying,
Hey,
like
I know you're going, EG. Hold on. I'm with you. We're gonna go to Kyra. We here. Kyra, hit yours, and we coming back to some of this list.
All right. So for me, number one was spirituality. 2 is his looks. 3, how he makes me feel appreciated. 4 is positive personality mindset. 5 is his attitude and demeanor. 6, how he takes care of home. 7, his salary. 8, willingness to please me sexually. 9, his career. And 10 is education.
Okay, let me ask y'all a question. So a lot of y'all put education as number 10. If education, this is for all the ladies, if education is not important for men to have, why do ladies spend so much time and money going to college?
Why do ladies do that or why do men?
No, y'all say education don't matter, so apparently that the man ain't going. So I'm asking, why do ladies spend so much time and money going to college if you don't care about a man having his education?
The question what and if we care or not, it's not that we don't care that he's not, it just doesn't weigh heavy on our decision on whether
if it's not important.
Yeah, it's not that it's not important, it's just not a heavy weigher in regards to if we're interested in that person or not. So like if they have the majority of these qualities, but all they have is a high school education. Heck, maybe all they have is a GED, a ninth grade education or a GED, but they have rose above that and made something of themselves or became an entrepreneur or whatever, then it doesn't really matter how much education they have because everything else is taken care of in career and salary. So like you said, I don't know. I'm a little weird. You can almost be in a cardboard box, but not in a cardboard box. But it's more than how smart they are because education does not equate to knowledge. Mm-hmm. You know, just because you go to school, it doesn't make you have common sense. It doesn't make you be able to operate in the world and really make good decisions when it's based on life.
So again, but why is it so? If it's not that important, why do ladies spend so much time and money going?
For me, I can answer and say I spent time and money going to college to further advance myself and to be marketable in the job field. Because to me, a Black woman has to work twice as hard as other cultures and other people. And so to put myself on the map, education was important to me. At the same time, over in time, as I've grown, I've noticed that and learned that education isn't always the most important thing, because as Angel said earlier, you can have a person that has a PhD, a master's, fill in the blank with whatever degree, and he can be ignorant. He may not be able to stimulate your mind intellectually. He may be narcissistic because of the colloquial degrees that he has and not family oriented. So for me personally, it's something that I want to have outward to be more competitive. But for a man, you may not have to have, you don't have to have that degree to be able to have a good conversation. Or you may have chosen to go to vocational school, or you're good with your hands, or you've been at the post office for 25 years, and you're a subject matter expert and you have everything together. So I'm not comparing education with like how much you can offer and bring to the table personally or intellectually tied into your education. Not to mention that everybody doesn't have the resources to be able to afford to go to school. There's some people that probably help their single moms or their families or different situations that people were put in. So because everyone's not able, I'm going to go with wherever you're at and meet you where you are.
And I agree with Kyra. My dad only had a high school education, but he was a successful business owner. He pushed me to go to school, and I didn't want to go at first either, but he pushed me to go, and I'm glad he did. But if he wasn't a successful business owner, I don't think I would have been able to go to college because we didn't have the resources. To be honest, Shepherd didn't push us to go to college either. I told my counselor I didn't want to go, and she said, okay, I'll see you in May. So, and I went to a predominantly white high school, which was supposed to be quote unquote great. But it was my friends that said, no, we're going to go away. So we did that. So I didn't have the resources either, but my uneducated father with only, and I'm not going to say uneducated, but he only had a high school degree or diploma, and he was successful, pushed me to go. That was my resource. So I don't necessarily say that. And then we go to school for different reasons. Like in order for you to become an AKA, you have to go to school. So maybe that was a reason why I went. It wasn't, but you got to look at some of those reasons. Fraternities, they do it, but not, I mean, you don't really have boys walking around saying, oh, I want to be a Kappa, so I'm going to go to school. Some do, but majority don't. So women and girls are a little bit different when it comes to college to me in an education, but an education doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I agree with the ladies as well. I feel like having an education or not having an education, it don't make or break a person, to me, in my eyes, especially a man, because like I said, there are a lot of successful men who don't have a college degree. I have a college degree does not mean that the man that I'm dating or the man that I'm married or whatever has to have one, because I don't feel like that because you don't have a college degree that means that you're not smart. It's different experiences that you go through and different situations that you go through that makes you smart and, you know, teaches you how to handle different things.
So I'm gonna come to you in a second. I know you had something to say earlier, but in our comments section, Malcolm Edwards said, I agree. I mean, it's like you don't have to go to church to get to know God.
Can I answer that? For me, because spirituality is number one on my list. And if I'm going to be dating someone, it's going to be with intention. And I'm not saying that to be a spiritual person, you have to go to church or serve in the band or pass the collection plate. I'm talking about having a relationship with God, believing in God, knowing how to pray, being able to pray with me, having a basic commonality belief system that will bond us together and that will get us through the hard times if we should choose the path of marriage. Because I'm not going to spend time dating someone or entertaining someone that doesn't even believe in God. If you're an atheist, I don't need to spend my time with that because that's not what I'm looking for in my future. And it could be that currently you don't go to church, or, and, you know, not to get all biblical or anything like that, but when 2 or 3 are gathered. So it doesn't have to be that you're in the church. We could have church at home. We could go and sing songs or read scripture in the park or at the beach. So having that spiritual connection is so much more to me than attending church, because there's a lot of people, myself included, at different times in life that have went to church and done different things just to go through the motions. And whether my heart was there or whether my mind and my spirit were in the right place is a different story. So anybody can show up to church.
I'm gonna come back there. I got a question for that. Easy, you had something before I come to that? Because we're gonna talk about the spirituality thing.
I did, but the ladies kind of answered it. Like I think Courtney with a K, she said that education, because I asked the question that you all equate education with schooling. And I looked at it differently. I looked at, just being educated and learning skills. A trade school is a form of education, learning skills, developing knowledge to be successful shows a level of education. And so when they was putting it at number 10, I looked at it like that. But now that they're explaining that they're associated, oh, he don't need to have a college degree, or he don't, I understand where they put it. So they kind of answered what I was going to ask them.
Okay. Obi, you got anything?
Yeah, and I gotta agree with EG. I was looking at education as like education, job, salary. Can I afford to take care of home? I didn't look at it in their perspective,
Okay, look at y'all.
which is why I was huh?
So I'm proud of y'all, man. Y'all behaving tonight.
Hey, I just want to make sure
But
ain't no cap on here.
I want to get back to this spirituality thing. It's so high on everybody's list. But I guess Obi and Angel, we can say we kind of, I guess, go to a mega church. I guess you can say that. And all day long, I'm seeing all these women come in there that's married in relationships, but by themselves. So my thought process, I'm thinking like, if it's so high, where's your husband at? Why is your husband not? Because the two of us come together. Like, why is he at home watching the football game or washing the car while you at the church house? Like that's not, so it's not making sense to me. It's like, oh, because a lot of people said spirituality, but I'm like, you look at the church, it's 95% women. And I'm not saying single women, I'm saying they be married, they be in relationships, but where's the husband at? Because even say in the Bible, even go to like Hebrews 10:25, it talks about, let us not neglect our meeting, like actually meeting in the storehouse together. So how is it? Oh yeah, I'm this, but and I'm going to church or whatever. But your guy, he at home, he might, he believe in God, but how far does that go? Most everybody believe in some form of God. Most everybody does some form. They got different levels, but that don't mean they are spiritual because they say, "Oh yeah, I believe in God." A killer can say he believe in God. That don't mean he's spiritual or her spirituality. So can y'all break that down to me? Like, why is that so much?
Well, I mean, as you were saying that, I was like, where y'all at? That's a good question. And honestly, like as women, we can't really answer that. That's more of y'all men. Like I always think about how many things I can see that are planned by women, where women are getting together and trying to build each other up and empowering each other and having conferences and Woman Thou Art Loose and things like that. But we don't see a lot of things where men are reaching out to other men to help them to understand this walk with Christ. So really and truly, like, that's not really a question for us. That would be a question for you and EG and OB. Like when you guys are talking, I mean, I know going to church with you and like, I know that you talk about it, but most men don't share their relationship, not church. They don't share their relationship with Christ with their friends. Very, very few do. And
that wasn't my question. I'm saying if you're in the relationship or if you're in the marriage, I'm saying like say you married, right? Not
mhm.
saying you married, but you're going to church faithfully and your husband not coming. That ain't a question I can answer. That's something that you and him. You know what I'm
But
saying that.
that's what I'm saying. We can't really answer that either. I mean, if they don't come, they don't come. But a lot of times it's not us. Like we're gonna go because that is important to us. But we can't really answer that question on why they don't come with us. We have, I mean, we can make up in our mind and say why we think that they don't show up. But I don't know. I'm not gonna speak out of turn. I know for me, I couldn't answer that question. Like when I was married before, so we did go to church every Sunday. He was in church. But I've had people that I might have dated since being divorced, and I've had like outright like I'm not going to church, and I knew that that was not a relationship that I could even explore because it was like I'm not going because they either felt like they had their own church hurt or whatever was the case, and so that wasn't like stability for me. Like I can't trust you with my soul, with any part of me if I can't trust that you know where to go, because there's things that money and who can't buy. I mean, only things that you can only go to to God for. So I don't really know. For me, I don't know that we can really answer that question as the women.
Okay, I got a quick question, Angel, and for all the other ladies too. And I'm just going to use your example that you just mentioned. You're dating somebody, right? And you said you would mention church to them. You didn't ask them to go or tell them how important it was for them to go with you or make it a requirement that they go?
Well, you can't really make it a requirement. You can make it a request. But I mean, it was a request, but once it was like, no, I'm not gonna go, I'm never gonna go or show up or something like that, then that means now I have to go back and say, okay, like where does that rank? And because it ranks so high for me that I cannot continue, because like Kyra said, you're dating intentionally. And so it would be senseless for me to continue to pursue a relationship with this person who has already told me his intentions on where that is concerned.
Okay.
So not to keep you in a hot seat, I'll let you go in. I'm sorry, not to keep you in a hot seat. I want to either hear the other ladies too. But if we're ranking, well, if y'all ranking, and it's number one, then it's kind of is a requirement for you then for him to come to church with you because you ranked it number one. And if you feel, I'm not saying other ladies might say I don't go to church, but if you go to, I'm talking to Angel because I know she go to church, and say that was your number one. I know it wasn't, but say if it was, then it kind of is. What's your number two? It kind of is a requirement. That's your second thing. So it kind of is a requirement for him to go with you to church. I mean, maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I don't know.
I don't know. When I think of requirement, I guess.
Like a
Well, he
non-negotiable.
said, he said, what did you say when you asked me?
Like, is that a deal breaker for you? Is it a deal
It is
breaker?
a deal breaker for
Okay,
me. So
that's something you probably.
that's a non-negotiable.
Okay,
So it's a
that's probably
requirement.
something. Yeah, you should mention up front. Hey,
I guess you could say it's required.
It's the EG.
It wasn't that it wasn't. It was the way that he posed the question. He was like, "Why didn't you require it?" And it's like I was saying, "Well, I can't require him. I can't tell him like, no, you're gonna go. I could just request it, and if he say no, so that's all. I think it was just the way that you
yeah.
posed the question. That's all. Yeah, it's a non-negotiable.
She got a little nervous. It's okay. It's all right. EG, go ahead.
No, she's not.
I got a question. Kind of stole it from the chat, but it was something I was thinking about. It was close to another question I had for all the ladies. What happens if your mate practice a different religion than you?
For me, it's about being intentional when dating. So if someone is a different religion, and let me start by saying I think that there are some common themes that each of the different religions do have and share. and different beliefs that are practiced throughout all of the different cultures and religions. But I personally don't really see myself seeking someone or entertaining someone that's in a completely different religion,
Mm.
because while we can like study the word together and grow and pray and different things like that, I don't see myself converting from Christianity, and I wouldn't expect to convert someone else from their religion into my religion. I think it's important that as women, when we are dating, to know where someone is and not have an expectation for them to go somewhere or be something more than what they currently are and what they brought to the table. So, not to have a thought in my head, well, I know they're Buddhist right now, but in 2 years, we're going to keep going to Sunday school together and he'll convert. He never said he was trying to convert or that that's something that he was interested in. So I would be intentional and work on dating people that are in the same religion as me. And that's one of the questions that I've asked people in the beginning that kind of pivots the conversation or my thoughts or feelings about them. Do you believe in God? Oh, I believe that someone's out there and there's a higher power. Okay, I believe in God. You're not in alignment with my religious beliefs, so you can be in the friend zone. There's not going to be any intention of you're not meeting my family or anything like that in the future because we're not on the same court. And just to piggyback off of what the question was earlier in terms of like the men going to church, I think part of that is the root cause or the catalyst is that there are people that are not dating intentionally and they find themselves in different situations. And then now you're married because you feel that it's the right thing to do, or you got pressure from your parents or your family or whatever. And the wife goes to church as she has been, or she feels convicted to do so, and the husband, that was never his intent, so he stays at home. And additionally, I don't know exactly, I can't think of the scripture offhand, but there is scripture that speaks to the married woman saying, even if your husband is not going to church, you need to still go to church and to set the example and to continue to grow your relationship with God, so that when he is ready or when the time comes, he will be able to hold your hand and go to church with you. So that is my thought. And sometimes there may not be that communication. If you have somebody and you started going to church and now all of a sudden they're not going to church, where's the communication on what's happening? What's the reason? Did something happen? Was this triggered? Is there church hurt? Is there trauma? How can we fix and address this together? Do we need to go to a different congregation? Like, what is causing you not to be there spiritually, that you feel that you don't want to go to the church with me to spirit and worship in a building at a church at the same time?
Okay, we're gonna come to Courtney in a second, but I want to challenge you on something, right? So I believe I'm not a Bible thumper, but I know a this tad bit. Oh, we probably know more than me. I could sworn it said the woman follows the man as the man follows Christ. But you just flipped it, kind of. You trying to say you gonna follow Christ and have that man follow you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in the scripture, it talks to a woman, to a wife, about if there is a situation and your husband is not being, is not going to church, is not going to worship, then you still go to worship, even though he's not coming with you. It's not, well, oh, it's NFL Sunday ticket and he's taken 3 months off, so I'm gonna take those 3 months off with him and watch all the games. It's I'm gonna still grow and develop my relationship with him and still attend church. And if he comes, that's great. If he doesn't come, I'm still going to be I'm still going.
I get that you're still going. That's absolutely correct to still go. But wouldn't that be if it's so high on your list? Wouldn't that be a non-negotiable in the beginning? Wouldn't y'all figure that out in the very beginning before football um,
Definitely.
um, season come around?
That's why she's dating with intention.
And that's why that's one of the questions, one of the conversations that are had towards the beginning. I'm not saying the first conversation, but I'm not going to ask that question 3 months later or 3 weeks later. It's going to be one of the initial conversations that are had, so that I know where you are spiritually so that I can gauge whether this is going to be a blooming possible relationship or whether you can be a friend or you might get a Happy New Year's text message from me.
Okay. Hey, Facebook. So we right here having a discussion with some beautiful ladies right now. And the topic of today's discussion is ladies, rank things most important to least important to you when choosing a man to be in a relationship with. And we got a bunch of different things like his career, salary, looks, education, his physique, how he takes care of home, attitude, willing to please you sexually, spirituality, etc., etc. So we just right now we're talking about the spirituality part of the list because from a lot of women it's kind of high, and I'm just trying to figure out if it's so high, why are they letting these men kind of, I guess, in a sense, my opinion, off the hook and not really going with them? And they're going to church faithfully. They kind of let them off the hook. So we're about to hear from Courtney. Courtney, what you got?
Everything Kyra said, and I mean everything. You just have to be intentional. And the bulk of the time, I know I've dated without intention, and I ended up with nothing. And when you date with intention, you see stuff right away, and so you have to leave. I'm not gonna stay. And you say, if you tell me you believe in God, but then I ask you to pray, or I gotta ask you to pray over food, where are we at?
I like that. I was about to say,
How can I know I'm going through something and I need you to pray for me? What you gonna say? Because you have never said anything out your mouth that was convincing. Like, I think, you ask people, or we ask people, like, tell me about your spirituality, or your religion, and then the first thing they say, I believe in God. Then when you start, okay, well, tell me what you believe. I can tell you what we talk about. Let's pray together. Let's you know. And I'm not saying we always have to go in a church, because it's a lot of church hurt. It's a lot of stuff that people have seen and witnessed, and they just can't see themselves going in a church. So can I judge you for that? No, but if we can sit up here, we can watch it. If we got to stream it because you don't want to go in, or if we got to change and adjust something, let's do that. But I feel like we all need to date with intention. And when you date with intention, you're still going to get some problems because people are not 100% correct or 100% them. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. But as long as I know that you call to somebody else and you don't lean on your own understanding,
come on, preach that word.
come on, don't do that. But I'm
That's
saying,
the word. That's scripture. That's scripture.
I
That
know.
is.
So it's like, that's why it's so high on my list. Like, I need you to pray for me. We had praying grandmothers. I've never met mine, but we had praying grandmothers. I need a praying man. If I lose my job and you got to take care of us, you're going to pray and ask God to intervene in this. Like, I don't need you to go ask Joe and them, and they're going to tell you whatever. So that's why it's high on my list.
That was kind of going to be my question to you ladies too, what she actually alluded to what I was going to say about, if you're that's so high on your list, but the woman is walking around putting her hands on the babies. The women are walking around covering the house. Well, what does this man do? Okay, he's providing financially and sexually and all the other stuff, but if that's so high and this man not praying over the folks, he's not saying, all right, y'all, let's hold hands before we break bread, and then how is it so high? So she actually answered the question I was going to ask. Sheena Nicole, what you got to say about this?
Spirituality is not like at the top of my list, but I do feel that it is important. In my years of dating, I have not dated anyone who was like a different religion. I have not pulled like anybody's arm to come to church with me, but they did willingly want to go. So that, that in a sense made me feel good. And that made me feel like, okay, like I'm doing something right. If I needed them to pray for me, they prayed for me. If I needed, if they wanted to come to church, they came to church. However, like if they didn't, then they don't. but I still will because my salvation is important. Now, I did run across an atheist before once in my life, but of course, I didn't even go down that road because you don't believe in God at all, and I'm good on that.
So I'm about to ask another question. Then I'm gonna read out the survey in a second because we
Ed, real
go
quick
ahead.
before you move on. I think, Kyra, you can tell me if this is what you were talking about. And I know, Ed, you were talking, but I think I might have found the scripture that you were talking about. I think it's First Corinthians 7, where it talks about basically like in the message version, if a Christian and a non-Christian marry and like that Christian, the man still wants to stay with her, like even if she can stay with him, but it also says the unbelieving husband shares to the extent in the holiness of his wife, and the unbelieving wife likewise touched by the holiness of the husband. But it says um, that I'm trying to find this one that what I think she's talking about.
7:14, 1 Corinthians 7:14.
Yeah, 7:14, but I think it's 7:16 where it says you don't have to hold on. The sky is caused to make the best and the peace. Oh, you never know, wife. The way you handle this might bring your husband not only back to you, but to God. That's in the message. And so it just essentially is saying that there is a way that as long as the wife is doing what she's supposed to be doing, that it could in turn bring the husband to then um, come to Christ. So
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Look at you reading some scriptures. I'm proud of you.
I don't know what was in there. I just can remember where.
Oh, you got anything else you want to share about this?
No, I'm good. I'm glad that you found that for us, Angel, because I was sitting here trying to find it. I couldn't find it.
Cortez put it actually on the chat too. That's how I looked in the chat. He
Oh, okay.
actually on
Okay.
it. That was pretty cool. Yeah, so I just was wondering how y'all. I mean, because most people might not think the exact same way y'all think. They might think. Like, I was always wondering, like, because when I read out these numbers later on, you'll see why it's like very high. And I know some people, Lord help them. I'd be like, that's how your list. I'm not telling I was judging, but I'm looking at it like, I know you. I really, really know you. Oh, okay. I never questioned about when they send me their list. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, side out them a little bit, like, okay. But
But
yeah.
you know, it goes back to it. Let's say for me, and it's not me. Let's say I was a person that don't go to church. I believe in God. You know, I don't go to church. I'm not spiritual. I believe in God. Yeah, I believe there's a God. I pray when something drastic happens. I pray. Let's say I'm one of those. And then you ask me to rank. I probably do want a woman who's very spiritual because I need help. I need help in that department. So I can understand polar opposites attract sometimes, right? You know, hey, I might need to see Kyra getting up every Sunday, getting dressed, and I kiss her goodbye, and I'm sitting at home like, I'm a loser. I should be going with my wife to church.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
I might need
Hey.
that. You know, like what you used to make me work out. You like, you ain't working out today? No. And you just start working out in the living room. I'm like,
What happened? You start working out with me. That is true. You did.
right. So you're like, this bum. So yeah, so
But I kind of agree with what Courtney said too, because when she said let's watch it on TV, because my mom took us to church all the time. Like we used to live in the suburb, but we went to church in the city of Chicago, and my dad didn't go with us, but he's watched I can't remember the dude's name, but he's watched faithfully every Sunday on the screen. He just wasn't big on going into the church. But he did, but I would still say spiritual because, like Courtney said, he still was at home watching it every Sunday. When you leaving out, I'm seeing him watching. I'm like, I can't stay home and watch. No, okay, I got it. All right. I take this hike all the way to Chicago. When I was younger, like already there to go to church. But yeah, so I kind of agree with Courtney. She kind of on something tonight, but I don't know. She might be capping about something else.
Nope.
So I got to ask you, ladies, a question. What does y'all rank respect and appreciation? Appreciate it. What's y'all rankings on that?
That's number 3 for me.
Yeah. That's number 3 for me too. So my love languages are quality time and words of affirmation. And if you're not pouring into me the way that I need to be poured into, and that's not high, and you're not able to give me what I need, then that changes the attraction. That can build resentment. It can increase frustration and just not connecting. So I think, and other things were scored a little bit lower, but like being able to know what works for me and giving me what I need when I need it and acknowledging, making me feel heard and understood and taking actions on what I've told you to help cultivate this relationship is highly important to me.
What was that on your list?
3, the same.
Angel was 3 too?
No, no, mine was 6, but I was moving it up to 5. But I like in their position of 3, so it's getting higher.
Yeah. No.
Wow.
No, you can't just go off of somebody else. Hold on.
Mm-mm-mm.
Got
Hey,
one. We
YouTube.
got one.
Hold on, EG. We go. Hold on. Hey, YouTube. So we got a call-in number. If you want to call in and chime in on the conversation, the number is 704 891-9560. If you want to call in and give us your opinion, go ahead and call that number 704-891-9560. Now we about to get on Angel because she lying over here. She can't
She can have
change
a change of heart.
50 minutes. She can't change 50 minutes into the podcast.
Mm-mm.
Oh, wait, that sounds like a good idea. No.
No,
Angel,
I mean it's up there with
You want
positive
nobody to respect you?
mindset.
Okay, go back to 6. You
Yeah,
don't like nobody to respect. What is it? You don't want nobody to respect you or make you feel nice. So keep
I
it that way.
do. I do.
That was number 6 for you, right? EG, what's up, man? Say something, EG. You laughing? What you got? He said
No,
I didn't.
I think 6. I mean, 6 is a good space for it. Still, you know, it's in the lower 50%, but it's not in that bottom 20% where y'all got education at. I'm just saying. Anyway, no, it's funny because
That sounds good. Go ahead, EG.
it's funny because I was making an analogy, how y'all put the list together, and I had a question about how much of the list, and I know I'm dealing with grown women, and it's probably be more effective question if you all was younger, but you never know. How much of this list is affected by your friends, by your girls?
Go ahead, Davin.
So y'all already motivated Angel to switch hers all the way up to 3, so
Matter of fact, hold on. Tina Nicole, come on. I want to hear you. You first lady. Come on.
None of mine is affected by my girls. My list is gonna stay my list. Like my ranking is gonna stay my ranking. I'm not changing it. I'm standing on it. Period. And I'm pretty sure that majority of my circle would have this same list the exact same way, pretty much. So
your girl come at you like, girl, career, you gotta have that bad. Why you got that so low, girl? You need to move that up.
no, that's not gonna affect. I'm not gonna. Okay, that's your opinion, girl. Like you want a man with buku money. Okay, girl, do you? That's not me though.
Yeah, I would agree that my circle of friends don't have an influence on my list either, because there's some people that in the back of my mind, it's like maybe if you switched your list, then you wouldn't have been through those past 5 relationships where he's not calling, and now you have this and that. Maybe you need to think a little bit differently. So I'm gonna stay with mine and perhaps influence someone else to think differently.
Me too. I've never wanted someone else's relationship. Let's start there. So I'm not gonna look at your list because your list was your list, and everybody make lists in different stages of life. So a 20-year-old, a 25-year-old, 30-year-old, 35-year-old, 40-year-old, everybody is making different lists. Your list is gonna adjust or decrease, whatever increase. So it's gonna stay the same. I don't my friends, they got their own thing going on, and half of them are not happy. So I don't want to follow a list and they're not happy. I mean, if we're gonna speak, let's speak. They're not happy. So I don't want nothing that they have or follow a list or their expectations of what I should be doing. You know, people will tell you, oh, well, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. How else are you gonna learn? You had to get married to get divorced, right? You had to figure out that it didn't work, right? So I don't want, it's gonna stay the same on my list, but I don't want nothing that nobody else have, or and my friends don't influence me.
Well, that marriage part hit home.
It
Woo.
did.
Yeesh.
It did.
That was a tough one, boy. That marriage, man, make you not want to get married again. But no, it's all good.
Hey, I want to challenge them about the salary thing, man.
Hold on, Obi. Let me read this list out there and get back to your challenge.
Okay.
So we had about 60 women, not you guys, but we had 60 women take the survey of the list. And here are the consensus. I'm just doing the top three. For women in their 20s, this is their top three, 20s now. Salary, number one, which I can understand that. PG kind of alluded to that.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, personality. They still want to, what's it called? Turned up, get lit. I can understand that. Personality, size, mindset. Number three was attitude and demeanor. That was women in their 20s. Women in their 30s, pretty much women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s all had the same thing. They all said spirituality was number one. All of them. All of them said, 30s, 50s, and 60s said being respected and appreciated. And the last one was attitude and demeanor. And the 40s, only thing was different, they said personality. So everybody pretty much said spirituality. Everybody pretty much said respected and appreciated. And I was kind of like, wow, everyone, like everybody, like what? So, I'm trying to get what happened to the looks. But go ahead, Obi. I need to talk about these looks.
My question is, like, for the salary, how is it that you guys have it like listed so low? When to me, I'm a man. I'm just speaking from my perspective. We got to make enough money to take care of you, take care of the home, make sure you look good. Got to get your hair done, your nails done, and all that. I just don't see how salary could be so low. If go ahead, Courtney with a K.
I think that's somebody with an immature mindset, right? I can make 98, you can make 50, put that together, we gonna make some money. So I'm not saying that salary is a deal breaker. It's not a deal breaker for me because I look at lives. Things can happen, and then he don't make that money anymore. And then what?
Mm-hmm.
I got you. I understand. But I want to go back to that guy that works at Target. That's a
No,
good dude.
Jules with an S, pushing carts. I wrote it down.
Yeah, let's go back to Jules. Let's go back to Jules. Jules is a faithful man. Jules goes to
Wait a
church.
minute,
He
wait a
goes to
minute, Obi.
church.
Hold on, Obi. Hold on. Tell about. She wrote it down.
Let's go, Courtney with a K.
This is what happens on the pod, y'all. We keep it 100. Obi asked, okay, so Obi asked you, Courtney with a K, would she date a guy that worked at Jules with an S and push carts? So she about to answer the question, y'all.
Yes. Because he can
That's
check.
actually my statement. But he got to check out the box.
He can check every box. And salary is low on my list, remember? So he can check all the boxes. I don't want to discredit him because he works at Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, Jewel has a lot of opportunity. Pushing carts can lead him to be the district manager or owning the store. Because I'm thinking positive. It's all about the positive mindset. I don't have a poverty mindset. So I'm going to live like I'm going to live and we're going to live and I'm not going to judge it. So yes, he can work at Jewel, but we're going to have plans too. You're not going to work at Jewel for 15 years pushing carts like it's okay. So no, we're going to, okay, you can push carts for 2 years, but what's your plan? I'm always thinking ahead. I don't want to stay in the same field. I don't want to do the same thing, especially if I don't love it. So come on, if I'm elevating, you got to elevate because that's how divorce happens. Because one person is elevating and the other person is not. We're going to push each other. We got to motivate each other. So I'm going to motivate him. He might push carts, but I'm going to motivate him. And I'm not going to ever make him feel like he is worthless.
Ooh.
I'm going to pour into my Black African American husband. I'm going to pour into him. So maybe that's where he's at now, but he's not going to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So real quick.
And then you go back to that scripture about what the woman, come on.
So April on Facebook said, if it stops being okay, then it was never okay. So basically saying if it stops being okay, like you said, 2 years, then you need to elevate. Then she said it was never okay then for him to push carts.
No. I mean, people go through things in life. And that can just be something that he has to do in that moment. But we're not going to stay in the same place. We're not going to stay in the same place. You have to grow. You have to elevate. So it's more to pushing carts. It's more out there. It's more you can do in this corporation or this. It's more you can do. So we're not doing it. But it's okay if that's what he's doing.
Yeah, but for me, and I'm not speaking for me on this subject, but he may not want to move like you move. He may not want to elevate like you want to elevate. He may be happy with where he is. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to advance in his career, but he may not be able to advance at the pace that you're trying to get him to go to. Would you be okay with that?
No, because I don't want to be with somebody that I can't motivate or push and they can't do the same for me.
So in the YouTube chat, Henry Carter said, once a man gets to a place in life, rarely does he change, and no woman will change him. What do you ladies think about that? And how y'all move?
I agree. And my take on the cart pusher or cart corraller is a little bit differently. And I'm working on my judgmentalness, but that's not going to work for me personally. I need a little bit more of ambition. And I understand that people are in different places and stages of life. And like I mentioned earlier, I can't expect someone that's pushing carts to try to be the manager or the CEO in 5 years or 10 years or however long. And I can't expect more from them than what I'm getting in the beginning. And if you're content being a cart pusher, that just doesn't work for me. I want someone that is ambitious. I want someone that is goal oriented, someone that is challenging themselves and myself. And so I wouldn't see myself dating someone that's pushing the carts in the rain. Not that there's anything wrong with people doing those jobs.
Don't backpedal.
There she goes. There she goes.
It's not going to work for me. I'm looking for something different.
EG, she's backpedaling. Don't wait. No, we ain't let nobody backpedal.
No.
I'm not backpedaling.
I'm joking.
Be like, I was said that this. No, you do you and push those carts in the rain. I'm gonna do B and find someone different.
So what if it's not raining outside? What if I just freshly got my locks done? I'm lined up. I got my little colorful vest on, and I grabbed your car where you didn't have to walk it all the way back. You know, real polite with that smile out on you.
Hey, and
So,
time out, and time out. And I go to church. I'm very spiritual. I can spit the Bible at you. I look good. You know, I make you feel
Work
good with the
out.
conversation. When I spit a game to you, I'm
got a
doing
little
everything that you're looking for.
No, honestly speaking, if that was the scenario and someone pushing the carts asked for my number, I would probably lie and be like, I'm
Oh my gosh.
interested.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
keeping it real. I'm not. So I wouldn't even get to the point of having that question about knowing about your spirituality or how you can pray the house down or anything like that, because it's only going to go to a certain point. with me.
Wait a minute. You said we said respect was number 3, right? So he came to you very respectful.
What I said. That's
He
what I
appreciated
said.
you coming to Jules. He greeted you. He walked you. He was everything that you said was number 3. And number what was 2? And then what was number 1 was looks? Was number 1
My
looks?
number one was
And
spirituality.
Ed.
It was looks.
And Ed. His career for her is number 9. She said career was number 9.
Right.
So it shouldn't matter if he pushing buggies or not.
Come on, preacher.
It shouldn't matter.
It matters to me in terms of goals. Like you're in your, I might be older, but like if you're in a certain age and stage of life, if you're in your 40s and you're currently pushing carts, for me personally, I would like more than that.
Okay,
I
in the
mean,
chat.
all jokes aside, I can respect that. But I'm just saying, it was my part-time job, and I just happened to see you. Happened to see me on my. I'm just playing. Go ahead.
Your locks retied.
So I'm going to Angel next. Well, in the YouTube comments, Malcolm said, "What if he is self-motivated? Can you respect and support?" I said the wrong word. And support him, even if what he is doing is not working for him. Again, what if he is self-motivated? Can you respect and support him, even if what he is doing is not working for him? Angel, gonna go.
Yep.
So I think like Courtney with the K said, just different things in different spaces in your life. You can accept some things. And all I'm going to say is I've been there and did that. And at this stage, something's going to have to come along with that self-motivation. Just because, like Courtney, like I am also a person where it's like, if you have this and I have that, then we have this. You know, it's a together thing. And I did that almost to my detriment. So at this stage of the game, I can still be like, you have this and I have that, but you got to have this. You got to have it. Like you have to be into that. Because of course I don't know, I may be the oldest one on here. So at this stage, you gotta have some stuff going on. So
But I mean, I understand what Courtney the case said too, because at one time my wife was making I think 70 and I was making 60. So yeah, we was decent. But we're talking about, I don't know what Jules made. I'm not, no shout out, no shame. Now we're talking about 90, 80, whatever y'all making compared to, I don't know, EG, what, 30? I'm not
35.
sure. 35?
40
So
with overtime.
I got my 90, got 35. We winning out
Come
here.
to me like I work at Jules though. Let's
listen.
What? I don't. You know I don't work at Jules.
I mean, I don't know because I never worked at any grocery stores, no McDonald's, no food. I never worked in none of these places, so I don't really know.
When I first started doing hair, I mean, I still do like really well, but I had like an enormous. So it is that I was here at 125 to his 11.
11 what?
That's what I'm saying. 11 what?
Hour.
1,000,000?
$11,000.
And so
Wait, time out. You was with a guy who's making $11,000.
listen, it was a transitional time. So I was okay with supporting like the home while you are being self-motivated. And at the time, I can remember saying like, I don't really care what you do. I just need you to do something because what he was doing was not working. And so I didn't mind carrying for a time that I did, but it just wasn't like at that stage, it wasn't like respected that, oh, okay. And my thing was, is like, to me, roles on what you make it up. So it's like if what I'm doing is working for me, which means if I need to be in the studio a little bit earlier and stay a little bit later and you're not as busy, then I need you to go home and get the kids together and make sure the house is situated while you're still working through what it is that you're working through. I can't have you sitting somewhere waiting for something to happen and I've put in 15, 16 hours and still have to come home and tend to the kids. So I was like fine with what he was trying to make for himself and what he was trying to make for us, which I took that as, you're trying to make this for us. But after some time, a year or two, then you have to try something different that's going to work to help support your family. So, I mean, yeah.
So I got
And
another
I'm
question for you ladies. If ladies like men to provide, you already seeing that. Why is, again, we're talking about salary now. Why is salary so low then? If you want the man to provide, how can he like provide it if his salary is so low? Courtney, no, Sheena, come on, Sheena. You've been quiet down there.
Um, I feel like a man will do whatever he has to do to provide, regardless of what he makes. That's in
Can
my opinion.
you say
Um, hmm?
can you say that one more time? I didn't hear you clearly.
Yes, I said that I feel like a man will do whatever he has to do in order to provide, regardless of what he makes, rather if it's 30,000 or 80,000.
So if a man making 11,000, can he provide properly for a house, not an apartment? Just wondering. Just asking.
11,000? No, I don't think that he will be able to. But I will say that he will probably push and do whatever he has to do in order to provide.
Street pharmacists.
Hmm?
Street pharmacists.
Really?
I'm just saying, like, because we're not talking about a park, we're talking like a house. So if you want him to provide and he make it 30 or less, it's gonna be pretty tough for him to provide, make it 30 or less if you got a house. Because our house wasn't pretty. That house wasn't treat. We had that thing was a little bit of money. So I couldn't. If I had only $30,000, it wasn't nothing gonna be shaking in that thing.
No.
Bed and a futon.
So you wouldn't do whatever you have to do to get out there and to pay for the house?
I probably would have shake my ass for a little cash. Kyra, what do you think about that? When you always hear, not saying you guys, of course, I'm just saying in general. I'll say ladies always talking about a man needs to provide justice, but the salary is so low for y'all. How does that equate, in your opinion, to providing?
For me, it kind of depends on like where you are in the relationship. And I think that oftentimes women are like saying they want the bag or they want a person to do this, that, and the other, and you're barely providing that for yourself. You don't even have a bag to put whatever came out of his bag into, and you have these unrealistic expectations of what someone else is bringing to the table, and you're not bringing anything yourself, personally, emotionally, spiritually, but you want all these different things wrapped up in a bow. So there's that. And for me, I have, although it's ranked low because the other items ranked higher for me personally, your finances are still important. We need to be able to go away for a weekend getaway or to go to dinner. I'm not saying that I would never pay or anything like that, but you need to have some established stuff, some time off or 457 or 401k or something where you have vacation time and different things. I'm not looking for someone, for me personally, that doesn't have anything or isn't coming to the table or doesn't or isn't able to provide for themselves, let alone while I'm dating with intention, if there is something in the future that wouldn't be able to take care of us together in the relationship. And I saw the question in the chat about respecting and supporting him even if what he's doing isn't working for him. I'm not here to support shenanigans. If you're doing what's not working and you're continuing to do not working, then something is wrong. You might need to talk to someone, a mentor, do something, but I'm not going to keep following you. Great job. Still not working or still not getting that resume built. Like there needs to be a level of accountability and a standard that these men need to step up to kind of set the stage. So while salary is not the highest, just to be clear, it is still important to me.
According to Kay.
I agree with everything she said. So at 39, I'm not about to date somebody that makes 11,000. That's just that. They couldn't even pay my rent if I needed them to. So it's low, but it's still high on my list. But it's other things that just beat that, but it's still high on my list.
What was it on your list?
Huh?
What was it on your list?
8. But you have to be able to still provide for me and us. And we have to be able to do stuff. I want to live life, and we got to live life together. Whether he might can't just, pay for it right away, but if he got to put himself on a payment plan, hey, we got to do it, and we're going to go in whenever we go, not 2 years later, but we're going to do whatever. He's going to have to make money, but not $11 pushing a cart at Jewel today.
And you're going to need to be able to provide for yourself, because if you can't provide for yourself,
right,
need to be doing the providing. Absolutely not.
I want to challenge Courtney on something she said, according to Kay. She just said that it's number 8, but it's higher on her list. It's only 10 on the list.
Some of these things went together. A lot of these things went together, actually. So you could have did better.
I didn't come up with the list. Don't talk to me.
Wait a minute. What?
I didn't make the list up. I just found the list.
No, a lot of these things went together. I would have put a couple of them together. So
I disagree with that.
That's fine.
What goes together? I can challenge you on everything that you say that will go together. There's nothing on this list that goes together.
8. So my 8, 9, and 10, a salary, education, and career, that goes together.
That's totally different. You can have a college education that make $15 an hour working at Target. I disagree with that.
I don't, though.
I know what you're saying.
But I get what you're like. It goes.
I work in HR. I know.
Okay. And then like the positive personality and mindset, his attitude and demeanor, that goes together. Like, so I'll move it up. The salary can go to.
You can't backpedal though.
I mean,
you can't backpedal. Keep
Look.
backpedaling.
This my stage in life, so I got to backpedal.
You see, they a bunch of quarterbacks out here, EG.
Boy, I tell you.
they backstroking or they cornerbacks, boy. They backpedaling, boy. No, it's good though. What other one you said?
Huh?
What you said? What you said? Positive personality and attitude go together.
Mm-hmm. And I will move. How he make you feel and pleasing. That goes together too.
Oh no, that's how you make you feel and sexually pleasing you totally different.
I mean, so if he makes you feel like shit and he gonna go fuck the shit out of you, where's the chemistry?
They different still though.
Where is,
Chemistry, that's
and sorry
emotional.
for my language, but where is the chemistry?
That's
If,
emotional.
huh?
That's emotional chemistry and sexual chemistry. That's totally different.
Okay.
Well, I challenge that because for me as a woman, sexual chemistry is led by emotional chemistry.
There we go.
I'm not feeling seen or heard or respected or uplifted, then I'm going to feel a certain type of way. And we may have sex, or you might think that you're doing something physically, but emotionally, the connection isn't there. And I'm waiting for it to be over.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the guys that do treat women like trash, but they stay with him because they like, man, he put it down, but they know he got about 4-5 other women and he doing his thing, but you stand with him because he putting it down. So I'm with Obi. It's still kind of a difference.
At the age and stage in my life, I need more than somebody putting it down in the bedroom.
Me
I
too.
need you to have some emotional intelligence. I need to be able to cry on your shoulder if I have a difficult day. I may need you to help me journal if I'm having an emotionally challenging day. I might need you to lead a prayer. So it's way more than what's in the bed for me personally.
Listen, I agree with her.
No,
And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say this for me speaking, like emotionally, like if you treat me good and all of that, then I feel like to me the sex is so much better. Versus if you treat me like shit, you know what I'm saying? I may not even get wet for you. And I'm just being honest. Because it's that emotional contact.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely makes a difference.
And there may be some women in different stages of life that are okay with that. But
right.
For where I'm at right now, that's not me.
Because at one stage of my life, I was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
But today, absolutely not. Because
but that just, I'm sorry, go ahead, finish. I'm
sorry. No, go ahead.
But that just goes to show that the two are not the same. They're totally different. And I'm going to explain, this is what I heard. Let me know if I didn't hear this right. If you do not treat me well and I don't feel that connection with you, it affects the sexual connection. That's two different things.
Yeah, and I agree that they're two different things. However, I also agree that there are overlying themes in where these topics could be bucketized to have multiple numbers into different buckets. Because there could be like a financial bucket that could be tied into education, career, and salary. Then there could be an emotional bucket that's tied into how he's making you feel and pleasing you sexually. Then there could be a physical in terms of his looks, in terms of his physique, and things like that. So while I agree that each of the items are separate, and I'm not saying that any of them are the same, they have overarching themes that could collapse to allow room for other priorities on the list.
Well, guess what? The list is 10, so y'all put the name.
And thank you for putting the list together.
Let's talk to Facebook.
From whoever did. Thank you, list maker.
Go Facebook. I was sent the list. It ain't my list. It ain't my list. And I just said, rank them. Like, they want to change stuff. Women, I was trying to rank it like this. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? All right. Go ahead, Angel.
What? I'm enjoying this conversation right here, and
Okay, so I'm gonna
I
go ahead.
agree with them too. Emotionally, like, because when we are emotional beings, like men are physical, so y'all can look at something and see something, and y'all all right. And for with a woman, you know, it's crazy because I have these conversations with my guy clients all the time, when they complain about the bedroom, about it not being enough, and why this and why that. And so I'm always telling them, like, it's emotional for the woman, because they think, well, if I provide and I go to work and I take kids, I take care of that, when I come home, I just want a little bit of this or a little bit of that, and it should be okay. But I'm like, but how are you making her feel all week long? Like, if you're not paying her any attention, if you're not complimenting her, if you're not doing any of the things that she asked you to do, and then you just want to come in and you want her to just roll over, like, it's probably not going to be a pleasurable time for you. But and he's like, well, why do I have to do all of that? The same reason why you want to come home and when she opened the door, you want her in a negligee or something sexy.
Mm-hmm.
We would like and it's as crazy as it is for women, most of the time it's not a lot. We're not asking you to jump through hoops and, you know, write us a love song. Like, we're literally a compliment, appreciation. It says a lot. And I think that sometimes that men do more sometimes than they really have to for us. And I explained it to him, like, if I leave out for work in the morning and you're at home and I see that the trash is overflowing, I might say, hey, babe, can you take this trash out? And while I'm gone, maybe you do the laundry and you cook dinner and you clean the house. And if I come home and the trash is still like that eyesore is still falling over, like, you did all of this extra work, which I appreciate, but I might still ask you what happened to the trash. But if I come home and all you did was take the trash out, because in my mind, I'm probably thinking I'm coming home, cook and clean and all of that. So if I come home and do the trash out, I'm gonna be like, babe, thanks. I'm not gonna come home and say, hey, why didn't you cook? Why didn't you do laundry? I'm not gonna ask you those questions, because the only thing I asked you to do was because the trash is what was the problem. And so I just told them that sometimes, like, oh no, I know she would like that. Do you? Did you ask her? Did she say that? So whatever, whoever, whatever, whatever, Ed.
We got a call on the line, guys. We got a call on the line. Caller, what do you got to say?
Hey, so just a couple things. One, I think the trash thing, that's probably just brand new trash from actually cleaning up the crib. The trash was taken out initially, and then the crib just got cleaned up, and that's just new trash. Ain't the same trash. But, yeah, trash get taken out again. Serious question, though. Going into a couple of the points that you all had made earlier, I am kind of curious as to the education piece, because I put it into the comments, right? The education piece, it's being presented essentially as something more formal, right? As if you have a formal education. I understand that some of the brothers already say that they understand that they agree, but I kind of don't, because the definition of education is essentially getting educated in the field that you are in. And sometimes that doesn't necessarily require a degree. So I would just kind of like challenge the education piece. If somebody is educated in the profession that they're in and they're doing well in that profession, would that consider them to be educated? And I understand that we separate, I guess, education and knowledge for whatever reason, and we're just going strictly education. But the definition of education talks about the experience and being taught or imparting knowledge within a certain profession. So I don't know if y'all want to hit that up again, but I am still kind of confused and in disagreement about that part.
So what is your exact question for the ladies?
The education piece. So why is it that we're trying to leave it at the formal piece? Why are we saying like, oh, somebody has a high school diploma and we're considering them not educated? Why do we not say that they're educated within their profession? Because like I said, there's vocational schools, there's different trades and different professions people can have that doesn't necessarily require a degree.
All right. Thank you, caller. We'll respond. Appreciate your call. Thank you.
And I can say in my response, I was probably biased in my way of thinking, because when I think of education, I think of like going to school, getting a degree, being able to show that commitment, getting your assignments in, turning things in on time. And the same could hold true for a vocational school and for any type of higher education or training that you do. So I definitely hear what the caller is saying. When I was going through these questions, what automatically came to mind for me was like a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, things that you go through college to get a certificate of higher education.
Does anybody else want to tap onto what the caller said? Oh, yes, Obi, EG.
No, I think for me too, it's the same. I think that when we see the list, when you think of education, even when education is talked about amongst the community, it's generally deals with, some type of school learning. So I don't think that we all said that it was just stuck at, for school.
Mhm.
I think that it didn't even really matter to that degree, but it's posed as learning, like their level of education.
So what you're saying, like it don't matter if you went to a trade school, vocational school, or college, that was not high ranking for you ladies. Like you don't want nobody that's dumb, but you don't, whatever, if you did go, junior college, real, whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as you're not just sitting there, you can have a conversation together because you're like, okay, I can even talk to this dude at all.
Yeah.
You could not have went to a vocational school or to college through a 4-year program or 2-year, and there could still be intellectual conversation. I have some good friends, and we can talk about a plethora of things, from the Bible to politics to culture, and they only graduated from high school.
So I got a couple of comments I'm trying to read out on Facebook. April said, I think where things are ranked is still based on the people women are picking. She said, what I mean is, hold on, jeez. She said, what I mean is, no, Facebook. Okay, what I mean is, if I'm picking from a pool of high earners, then it doesn't matter if he makes 80 or 120. I can work with both. That's what she said. That's what April said on Facebook. So I guess she's talking about the salary when it comes to the salary piece.
Mm-hmm.
Then it doesn't really matter for her. And then Shannon said, I think most of the lists are connected in a way. A man who makes a lot of money is usually very busy. They may not have a lot of free time or be tired of a lot of free time or be too tired to have sex often. She said also she agreed with the caller. Your level of education doesn't define success. I mean, look how money influencers make regardless of education.
Mm-hmm.
And then Henry said on YouTube, you can have no education and be a millionaire. Mm-hmm. Education does not equate to money, like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, etc. Mm-hmm. So I got 2 more questions. Don't let y'all go. So back to this looks. Why is men looks so low on all levels, all ages? Didn't have them in the top 3. Not even the top 7.
I did.
Looks was number 2 for me.
Okay, Courtney.
Mine was low. but but
Come on, Courtney.
Don't change your list.
Don't change it now, Courtney, because you said a guy can get ugly or something. I'm like, I beg to differ.
okay.
She didn't say ugly like
You
that.
said butt ugly.
Right.
I'm not saying that. I mean, I want an attractive guy, right? Like I don't want to attract somebody that's not easy on the eyes. But again, you're ugly to somebody. So
Oh, that's what you said.
yeah, you're ugly to some. I mean, you're ugly to somebody. But I want somebody that's nice looking and easy on the eyes. You don't have to be Morris Chestnut. But you can, I mean, I'll settle for you. I'm just saying.
Say
Now,
what you
I
saying?
said, you don't have to be Morris Chestnut, but I'll settle for you.
Shut for who?
What's so?
What's just now who? You better know what the adjustment is. Hold
Like,
on, wait a minute now.
She
I was
came
on
for you.
Facebook. I missed that. Wait a minute. Hold on, man.
that's fired.
Wow.
Okay,
Wait a minute.
no.
Boris
I
Chuck,
did
wasn't that Albert? They better know who Ed is.
Oh,
Better stop playing with my swag. No, go ahead. I'm just playing. Go ahead.
no, but I don't want
I'm just
anybody
playing,
ugly.
but for real.
I don't want anybody ugly. You got to think we was given this list and we had to we ranked the list. This
Right.
wouldn't be my list. Looks
Gotcha.
would be up. I mean, don't make that face.
No, it's all in love. It's all in love.
Have to rank it because when you rank this, you're gonna see what we were talking about. Invite me back because I want to see this. Maybe the women should ask the questions to you all.
Wow. We might decide to
We
do
got a
that.
list too. We got a
Think
list.
about it, and you can bring us back, and we with it. But
Y'all
I mean,
with
I can't
Y'all
date
know
an
about that
ugly
smoke.
guy.
Cut it out.
I can't date an ugly guy.
But
I have a friend that says she'll.
it should be in the top 3 then.
I mean, the way the list we were given, I had to rank it accordingly, and it just fell. I mean, it's number 5.
That's
That ain't
low.
bad.
That's middle of the road.
It's in the middle.
Right. Like I mean,
50% almost fell in.
That is failing. That's an F. That's an F.
what if something happened? What if he wasn't ugly, but he developed Bell's palsy and he had a droopy face? Am I going to judge him?
Dating?
I think when I'm looking at looks, I'm looking at
Or while we were dating, or say he suffered from it, and then you just so happened, I mean, it came on because it comes on with stress. When you're stressed out, different things that'll make it flare up. So just say that he had it, and then every now and again he would have a flare up, and his face is all droopy, and he looks funny.
when I think about looks, I was thinking about like when you first see somebody before you find out about all the other stuff. It's like when you see somebody at the grocery store or at the gym or at church or at Walmart. You don't know nothing about it, so something got to attract you. That's how I looked at it. I don't know, Obi, what you thought about that?
I think the same thing. You know, that's the first thing you think of. That first appearance. That you want to
That's
make
the
sure that you can see yourself with that person. You know what I'm saying, and with that person in that way. And maybe that's how men think.
Could be.
Because
Yeah.
men are into looks and appearance and
Nah. Okay.
Yeah.
When you say it, when you put it out like that, when you say when you first see someone, so again,
Right.
you gave us this list, and it's like we didn't know how you were thinking when you thought about it. You were thinking, oh, we're talking about when you first see someone. So yeah, of course, that's the initial. If you see somebody, you might be like, oh, okay, they're good looking. And then if you guys kind of make that eye contact, and then yes, everything else, now you can start ranking all the other things differently because of that. But if you start talking about, how you would rank all of this stuff, like, of course, yeah, you have to have a physical attraction to them. But for men,
I
we
would
know
say
that
this.
y'all.
I would say
EG,
this.
don't be rolling back in your chair like.
No, because even if you took the list and say when you first look, I'm gonna put this out here, and I want to see how many times this has happened to everybody here. It's been times where you might have been out. I'm just gonna use a club or a bar scene because that's a very commonplace, huge place where people interact. And I've been there before, and I go up and I'm in the intention of ordering a drink. And I look over and I just say something like, "Oh, what you drinking?" "Oh, okay." And it leads to a conversation. I didn't even look at her face. I didn't look at anything. I just said that. And that led to this like, "What you drinking?" So, "I don't know. I'm a cognac man." And it led to a conversation that led to exchanging of numbers, that led to other stuff. So I can't say, "Oh yeah, when I first looked at it, I had to go holler at her." That didn't initiate it. So when you look, the list I took it is what you want in your mate. Not that was what you want in your mate. That was the ladies. Rank these in order of your mate, not rank these in order of the first person you see. So I believe y'all did the list correctly. And at whatever stage in your life, if looks is not that high in the top three or whatever, it just ain't. You muted, Ed.
Ed, you're muted.
We got another caller. Another caller. How you doing, caller? What's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel. What did you have to say today, Daniel?
Well, I mean, I hear what y'all saying about looks. I mean, I've seen some brothers that didn't look that attractive, but had like a beautiful woman. And it's all because of the way they carry themselves, what they brought to the table. And so, yeah, looks is important, but at the same time, it just depends on you and your focus in life as far as what you want. Because you can have the most beautiful person, but their attitude makes them look like a one, you know? So it just depends, you know, it's important, but like someone said in the comments, looks do fade. So when you get to the 50s and 60s years old, then what you're going to do? You know, you're going to sit there and still be in love with the person after the looks fade away? I mean, what you going to do?
Thank you, Daniel, for your comment. Appreciate you, brother.
Can I say something? Um, so when I think of like looks and physique, I don't think, I guess initially, if you say looks, you like Courtney was saying, you're thinking like your Idris Elba's, yeah, Idris or your Denzel's. And when I think of like looks and physique, there's so many different, it's not so much about looks and physique, it's the attraction. And so it just depends on what it is about them that attracts them to you, whether it's how they carry themselves. I mean, confidence looks really good on someone that may not look what people would consider attractive. But the confidence in how a person carries themselves can make them look like a Denzel or an Idris. And so I think, like, for me, even though I have looks and physique as number one, it's not like, I mean, it is a physical look, but it's the attraction. Like, what is it about you that attracts me to you? Because, like you say, you're right. Like, looks do fade. Like, but eventually, I think that people get like that. Stop seeing. You see them differently. You see people differently when you've been in a relationship with them. You know. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on looks and physique. It's not an actual physical trait.
Okay, my thing to ask you, ladies, we setting the bar really high with the Ed and the Morris Chestnut, you know, put my name up there too, and all these guys, right? The bar set real high. What about, like, I don't want to name these other names because they ever see it, they might try to come for me. I'm like, let's get it, you know. But these other guys that we know how they look, and because they who they are, they be like, kind of like Daniel said, they have the baddest women, and they face, y'all know I'm talking about. Hair, people have TV shows, had a show and had Delicious on the show, I'm gonna say it that way. And, you know, come on now. So it's like, I think sometimes these women be getting with these guys just off of status, not
Yeah.
off looks at all. Because
Yeah.
even, okay, you take away the rappers and the singers, you could see a D boy,
Yeah.
on the block, and just because he a D boy, and you like he got a little bit of paper, got a nice car, and flagged out, women still be attracted to that. So I think people. I understand why sometimes attraction is not on the top of everybody's list, but it's still kind of crazy because you got a lot of ads out there. I'm just letting you know. You got a lot of
Whatever. Well, this is also where love languages come in, because if your love language is like Kyra's, mine is physical touch and quality time. But if you're a person whose love language is gifts, like I have a girlfriend where her love language is gifts and physical touch. And so some of the people, I mean, and she's absolutely beautiful. And some of the guys that I've seen her with, I'd be like, but they also are the same ones that's buying the bag, that's getting her the car, that's taking her on trips because she is about gifts. And so that is how you speak to her. That's how people show her that she's worth. Whereas, like a person like me with quality time and physical touch, you could buy me everything in the world and not have time for me, and I will probably still leave you because I would prefer you to be here with me. And so with a person like her, she could have a guy that loves her dirty draws, literally, but can't provide her with the gifts and the things that she likes. And she's probably not going to stay with him very long. So it really, I think all of that deals with is when you're getting to a relationship, those are things that should be talked about as well, because those things can really decide what that looks like long term. Because if you get with a girl who is about gifts and now you can provide those gifts and things for her, and then something happens where you can't because you become a Jules and you out there pushing carts, and now she might be looking at you like
Rain.
She gonna leave your ass.
I could still bring home meat and groceries. I could still provide gifts. I could fill that cart up in the rain and bring this stuff home.
After you just got your locks retied.
Yeah.
Hey, EG. April said that stop capping. Comment said for EG to stop capping. I don't know if you want to address that.
Oh, which copy?
I don't know. She just commented on Facebook and said stop capping.
On what? Like the bar
April,
is
can you explain what EG is capping about, please? I got one last question for you guys. I'm gonna get y'all out of here because y'all probably always capping a little bit. Y'all changing stuff around. So let's go with the top 4 of everybody's list, of this list. Matter of fact, the top 4 of your main list, whatever you have, top 4. Are any of those things non-negotiables? Kyra, we'll go with you first.
Yeah, my top 4 are based on this list for the spirituality, looks, how he makes me feel, and positive personality. And all of them are non-negotiable. Because if you can't give me what I need, then I don't need you. And just to add one quick thing about there are some people that could be Lawrence Chestnut and Idris Elba, but the way they speak or the way they treat you or the way they make you feel builds resentment, and it turns that that handsomeness into just like, I can't stand you and I don't want to be around you. So you can go with the next person because just because you look good, there's so much more to it than that. But it is important to have some physical attraction.
Angie, what are your top 4? Are they non-negotiable, or can maybe 1 and 2 you can work with?
No, my top 4 are looks and physique, spirituality, attitude, positive personality, mindset. No, I mean, the looks and physique, I just put that first because I feel like I need to be attracted to you for all the other things. So even if I drop down one, I'm not going to say it's not a non-negotiable. I mean, I mean, looks are, but it's more of the attractiveness. So as long as I'm attracted to you, everything else, will flow well.
Sheena?
My top 4 is his looks, physique, how he takes care of home, how he makes me feel respected and appreciated, and positive personality and mindset. I would say all of them are non-negotiables except for like his looks, because like Angel had said, like as long as there is some type of attraction there, then I'm good with that. They don't have to be a Morris Chestnut
Or Ed?
But it wouldn't hurt.
or Ed. But no, it wouldn't hurt, Angel. It wouldn't hurt. But
Take
no,
it.
they don't have to be.
Oh, y'all did a lot of backpedaling, but Courtney, go ahead. Y'all backpedaling.
My top 4, they're all my non-negotiable. So spirituality, positive personality and mindset, how he makes me feel, and his attitude and demeanor. My love language is I need you to pour into me. So words of affirmation. I don't want to date an asshole. We all have our asshole moments, but you can't be an asshole all the time. But they're non-negotiables. That's it.
I used to be an asshole all the time. EG, you remember back in the day? Not you. I said I used to be.
Oh, you talking about you? Oh,
I thought you said how he used to be.
No, I said back in the day, I used to be an asshole all the time.
So I'm like,
now I said, Easy, don't you remember back in Club E&E? So that's what I'm saying. You remember that day. So anybody got any last words? We'll go with the ladies first. Sheena Nicole, you got anything else you want to say to the people? Anything you want to add?
Nope. Other than I can't wait till next week. I thank you ladies for coming on. I thank y'all for having each other back. We stood through. We answered all their questions. They tried to get us off guard, but we stood it. We stood it. I love y'all for that.
Kyra, do you got any last words for the people?
I just want to say I appreciate the conversation and for having me on the topic, and just enlightened to see the way that different people think and how men and women think and interpret things completely different. So being able to effectively communicate and understand, like, oh, okay, well, I thought you meant this and I interpreted it as that, or that was my perspective, or especially about the education was like really eye-opening. So I just appreciate the intellectual conversation that's been had.
Courtney with a K.
Thank you for having me. Invite me back to your list. I have to be there for this. But a very dope conversation, intellectual conversation, and just to see everybody's perspectives, just like Kyra said, it's pretty dope.
Angel.
Yep. Just gonna piggyback off of everyone else. Thanks for the time and the great conversation.
EG.
First of all, I would like to thank all the beautiful ladies for coming out. Thank you all for spending time mixing in all y'all ingredients, spinning it up, and coming out with that cake that y'all call a man. I think y'all did a wonderful job, and y'all held on almost. Angels, we did start moving and shifting stuff, but that's beside the point. I want to thank everybody for coming out.
Obi.
I'll piggyback on EG. I want to thank all the beautiful ladies for coming out. One thing I will say, they was baking the cake EG, but I think it was made with a lot of artificial ingredients, man. It was a lot of backpedaling, a little bit of cap, but that's just my opinion, you know. But when it's our turn to talk, I promise you, we're gonna be on point. We're not changing anything. You know, it is what it is.
And I'm gonna go a different route with the negative.
I ain't love though. This is all. I love all y'all. All in love. No hate.
You said we have GMO in our cake.
We keep it 100 on here. Like this, we come over here, we keep it 100. We have fun. We keep it light. We don't disrespect no one. Because everybody views and opinion is their views and their opinions. You know, we might challenge you, but at the end of the day, that's whatever you like. You know, you like. If you want this ugly dude versus an Ed, that's on you. I mean, hey, I don't know. I can't judge you. No, I'm kidding. But for real though, I really love the fact that you all said education was so low, just because the fact of a lot of people don't choose the college path or that path, and that doesn't make them less of. So I thought that was dope when I was reading everybody's. First, I was thinking like, oh, I know like my cousins and them that's summa cum laude and all that lolly stuff, right? And they still rank education like as last. I'm like, whoa. So I thought that was very dope because y'all looking past like that surface level. Y'all look past that. Like as long as you can hold a conversation and things of that nature, then y'all like we good. So again, I appreciate you all coming on. You all did an excellent job. Sheena Nicole, let the people know what's going on next week.
All right, so next week we get to hear from the men with their list, and so they can mix their ingredients and we can hear what they have to say. So, men, if you would like to be on the panel, you can hit either myself up or Ed on Facebook. I am Tashina Nicole. He is Edmund Chapman. Or you can leave a comment in the comment box below. I can't wait to hear from y'all.
All right. Well, there you have it. And like always, I love you. God love you. Go out